Travel videos show Gatlinburg is a charming little mountain town. Today we're going to talk about things they don't always show you though. Welcome to Bear Facts, where we explore the Smoky Mountains one bear fact at a time. Hi everyone, I'm back again, and today we're going to be talking about Gatlinburg, but we're probably kind of go into the darker side of Gatlinburg and how things have begun to change and concerns that people have about the area. Now, I'm sure if you've actually watched any videos about Gatlinburg, I'm sure you've seen plenty of highlight reels, beautiful mountain views, cute shops, candy stores, moonshine tasting, and a charming little town nestled in the Smokies. And all of that is true, but today we're going to go talk about the things that people don't always really point out or highlight in their videos. It's not really bad stuff, not complaints or anything like that. It's just real, the way that things really are down there. So don't take this as a bashing video. It's not. I promise you. It's not. I don't do that stuff. But I do want you to come with me and explore a little bit of the changes that are happening in the town and actually some of the serious concerns that the locals are having. So let's start with the one thing that has not changed, and that is how walkable Gatlinburg is. It's so walkable, you can park your car just about anywhere on the parkway and be able to access almost every single one of the main attractions on the parkway, all in one short space. A vast number of the attractions and shops and restaurants and even the tasting rooms are all packed into that one section between the 441 and 321 intersection, and then all the way at the other end at the entrance to the park. So if you park your car somewhere, you can spend the entire day hitting up all these big attractions, which is awesome. Because if you've ever gone to any other destinations like New York City or Vegas or Disney, I don't even need to say anything about that one, once you park your car, you now have another 3 miles to walk to get to any of the attractions. And this is the appeal of Gatlinburg. You can park your car and just walk and hit up most of the attractions. It's not a very big town. It looks big because there's so much in there, but it's actually very compact and easy to walk. Now let's look at the flip side of that really awesome bit of news. Yes, it is very walkable, but you still need to park your car, and this is the big one. Finding free parking in Gatlinburg is as difficult as finding a store that doesn't sell bear souvenirs in town. And this is why experienced visitors will tell you the same thing: park once and walk, because you're going to most likely have to pay for parking. There are a lot of parking garages right on the main road, and you'll notice as you get closer to the center, prices keep going up. On average, the center parking lots will charge you about $15 to $20, and sometimes even higher during big event times. Now, if you don't want to drive all day long looking for a decent priced parking garage or parking area, I suggest just heading over to one of the 2 public parking garages. One is behind Ripley's, right in front of the trolley station pickup area, and the other one is across the street over at the 441-321 intersection. Both are public-owned garages, and they are a set rate at $10 a day. The only downside is that they're at the beginning of the parkway. So if you do have some limited mobility, you might be better off just going to the center of the parkway and then park your car there, where you're much closer to a lot of the main attractions. But if you are pinching pennies or want to save money, then definitely consider using one of those parking garages and just walking and enjoying the views as you're going by. Another thing that you're not always going to hear much about is traffic in Gatlinburg. I know, a small town in the middle of nowhere has traffic. Well, yes, it does, because Gatlinburg is the gateway to the Smoky Mountains. It's because there are so few actual physical entrances into the Smoky Mountain National Park that Gatlinburg gets such a bad rap for traffic, because that's why most of you are coming to the area, is to go to the Smoky Mountain National Park. So limited access is going to cause some major traffic pileups, and I mean major. Doesn't matter what day of the year it is, you're probably going to find some minor traffic. And it isn't only because of the park, it's also because of how that parkway is designed. I think there's 4 red lights in the entire section of the road. It's the crosswalks that are kind of a big problem, because legally, a person who is crossing the road, if they're using the crosswalk, can walk in front of you at any time they want. And this makes drivers, hopefully, cautious so they're not rushing through. And you're going to see a lot of this happening. Visitors will kind of wander out into the road, walk their way through, paddle their way through, crawl their way through, whatever they end up doing. It's this constant flow of foot traffic across this main section of road that causes so many problems. Now, the good side is, because there is a good side, there are other ways to get into the Smoky Mountain National Park without going through the middle of Gatlinburg. This is called the Gatlinburg Bypass. There is an entrance to the bypass from the spur as you're coming up through Pigeon Forge. That's the main one, and you can also access the bypass if you're up and around on the other side of 321 before you actually hit the main part of town. The bypass has stunning views of the city below. It is a popular place for many people to pull over and look. At nighttime, it's just a glittery, wonderful, lit up experience, beautiful to see from a distance. The only other downside, and once again, because there's so few entrances into the park, even the bypass, when it gets like leaf peeping season, that gets so backed up. It's ridiculous. Even that gets backed up. So you're kind of at that point, you're like, do I go through the middle of town or do I try to take the bypass? Try using Google Maps. Sometimes it'll actually tell you how bad the red line is. Either way, traffic is a problem in Gatlinburg, and this is something, if you know ahead of time, you can like take some deep breaths and do some, yin or yoga beforehand, because you're going to need it. It can be brutal. Okay, now remember, I'm not really complaining. I'm just stating things the way they are. And this is the last thing I'm going to bring up. And this is the changes that are happening in Gatlinburg. Now, change is important. You have to have some kind of change, or you're not going to keep getting new people coming in. The thing that some people are concerned with is the direction of the change. So, Gatlinburg has always been a tourist destination. Since the park opened, Gatlinburg has been the place that people have gone to. And many longtime visitors say that the type of visitors has started to shift a little bit. Gotta remember, early on, these were people that wanted to go see the park. They were bringing their families. They wanted to hang out, do some camping. It was a slower pace back in the day. And even though from the 1950s, Ripley's and some of these other big attractions had been there, it wasn't the same kind of Vegas experience that it's becoming today. And I don't even want to use the word Vegas, because that's not appropriate. It's more of a Nashville experience now. So if you've never been to Nashville, let me just describe it in one term: a non-stop country music drinking fest. Okay, there, it's out there. Everyone knows this. Nashville is the place you go when you want to party, you want to do some bar hopping, you want to explore the country music scene. This is Nashville. It's got a lot of lights. It's got a lot of fun things for adults to do. And the thing that we're seeing in Gatlinburg is a trend in that direction. There are a lot more restaurants that are featuring live music with bars, and you're going to see a lot more moonshine, wine, and hard cider tasting rooms and distilleries are popping up all over down there. Like I said, don't get us wrong, these places are extremely popular for a reason. They're fun, the staff are entertaining, and the tastings make everything more lively as you're socializing and you're getting drunk. I hate to say it, but yeah, you are. You're drinking moonshine and you're drinking a lot of it. So you're out there having fun and enjoying yourself. There might be a bachelor party you came downtown for. You're having a night out with your friends, and this is great. But here's what you don't see in the videos. Young people getting too tipsy, people who don't know their limits and are coming in larger and larger groups of youths that are having a good time. And thankfully, the city has laws that open liquor is prohibited. It's a dry city. And the law enforcement is very active in Gatlinburg. I've never felt unsafe there. But if you're out with your family and you're trying to have a good time and you got a bunch of people that are kind of also having a good time, but a different kind of good time, When both parties are meeting up in the same place and they all have a different interpretation of what a good time is, you have a conflict of interest. Gatlinburg is changing, and let me give you a little example of that. Just a couple years ago, they opened up the Moonshine mountain coaster, okay? That's clearly for adults. It's not for families and children. So what you're starting to see are the stores that made Gatlinburg into this mountain humble home are leaving. They're just leaving. And they don't have a choice because the kind of clientele has changed. And this can be a good thing or not good thing, depending on what kind of vacation you are hoping for. So that's why I said I wanted to be real about it. Gatlinburg has become more of a Nashville experience. But it's not all there yet. There are still plenty of wonderful little shops that are still holding strong, such as the Village Shops. These are all owned by small business owners, and they still are providing fun and unique shopping opportunities. And there are some candy stores that are still around after decades of being around, such as the old Smoky Kitchen or Aunt Mahalia's Candies. But if you go in and talk with some of these older businesses, the story they're telling isn't as sweet as their treats. It's pretty grim, actually, sometimes. The shopping areas that made Gatlinburg special are not making ends meet, and these smaller businesses are concerned about sales. Some are even closing their doors. Take example, the Clock Peddler, which after 50 years of serving tourists with these unique clocks in the area, are closing their doors. Another group of people that have felt the change the most is probably the crafting community. Just outside the main parkway area is something incredibly unique, the Great Smoky Mountains Art and Crafts Community. It's an 8-mile loop of artisan studios and galleries where you can watch woodworkers, potters, painters, and other craftsmen practicing traditional crafts. This community has been part of Gatlinburg for generations, but many artisans are saying that these big changes in the kind of clienteles that are coming into Gatlinburg are making it harder for them to find the correct audience. As the parkway fills with more faster-paced attractions and souvenir shops, fewer visitors are wandering out to explore the quieter parts of town where these handmade crafts are sold. And that's a shame, because these artists represent some of the most authentic Appalachian traditions you can still experience in the Smoky Mountains. So even with all these changes, Gatlinburg is still Gatlinburg, a small mountain town that borders the Smoky Mountain National Park and is all southern charm wrapped with a few extra neon lights and a few too many bear mugs. But it's still a place where you can grab a funnel cake, take your family down the road, listen to street music, wander into candy stores, and end the night watching the lights from the mountain overlook. You can still step off the parkway and find quiet river walks, scenic views, and peaceful corners that remind you why people fell in love with this town in the first place. And it is just a few minutes away from one of the most beautiful national parks in the country, the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. Where the crowds fade, the mountains take over, and the Smokies remind you that this area was what was here long before the tourists arrived. I hope this video helped you plan your visit to the Smoky Mountains. You're getting an honest review from our personal experiences, but facts and things change, so please keep us in the loop if you've learned anything new and want to share your experiences in the comments. Thanks again for visiting us at Bear Facts of the Smoky Mountains. Please click that like button and subscribe to our channel.